Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone. Our team from Prince of Songkla University in Thailand and CIRAD is presenting you an on-farm study about the effect of bamboo intercropping with rubber on soil water content and root distribution. One of the issues when you have to choose which species to intercrop with rubber trees, for example, is the possible competition between the trees and the associated crop for the different resources such as light, water, and nutriments. And there could be particularly a competition for water if the root system of the associated crop and that of the tree share the same resource. However, in some agroforestry systems, it has been shown that when trees are intercropped with other species, their root may change pattern and go deeper to tap into the water table. Therefore, using different sources of water between the components of the agroforestry system and bringing together a higher water use efficiency. Regarding bamboo, this group of species is particularly interesting because it can produce product that can be sold on different kind of market. So there is a high potential for income diversification in agroforestry systems. But what is specific is that bamboo species have features which belong both to grasses and trees. Bamboos are actually grasses, but they are perennial grasses. They live for a long time and they can grow as big as trees. And bamboo species are also considered to be strong competitors for water. So there is a need to get information about how this kind of species can behave when they are intercropped with trees such as rubber trees. However, we did not find any recent published studies on rubber bamboo agroforestry systems, but we found that in southern Thailand, some farmers started by themselves to intercrop bamboos into existing rubber tree plantations. So we took this opportunity to start a study on farm with the hypothesis that intercropping bamboos in rubber plantation could improve soil properties, enhance water conservation, and therefore improve at the end the sustainability of the plantation system. We went to a private farm in Thailand where the owner had two plots. One plot where he kept a monocropping system, the traditional system, and a plot just nearby where he planted the same system at the beginning, so the same rubber clones with the same planting pattern. But after 10 years, he decided to intercrop bamboo species, so of this species, uh, in the middle of the interrow, and he planted the bamboo with the same planting pattern as the rubber. It means in lines separated by 7 meters and with 3 meters between the bamboos or the rubber in each line. So we went to this plot when the rubber trees were already 20 years old. That means that the bamboo trees were 10 years old. And we studied soil physical properties down to 30 centimeter. Also, we did some chemical analysis down to 60 centimeters, and we measured soil water content weekly by a soil profile probe at the same depth and also down to 1 meter. And we also measured the fine root density, fine root distribution down to 1 meter as well. So on the figure, you can see the rubber lines with the rubber trees. In the middle of two rubber lines, you can see the bamboo lines. And where we did the soil water measurements, here and here, and where we did the soil sampling for chemical and physical properties, and the points where we took sample for root length density. And we had 3 repetition for each plots. So the main results that we found is that in the monocrop we had a higher soil water content in the shallow horizons, down to 30 centimeters. However, with the association, rubber and bamboos together, it was the contrary. We had more water in the deeper horizons, from 30 to 1 meter deep. So with the agroforestry systems, more water in the deep horizon and less water in surface. This can be linked to the result that we found with fine root density. You can see on the left-hand side, this is the density of roots of the rubber, the bamboo, and the total from the surface to 1 meter. And we found that the density of rubber roots, fine roots, was a bit depressed in surface when it was associated to bamboos. But when you do the total, the rubber plus bamboo fine root density was higher than that of the monocrop. So higher fine root density in the whole system in the agroforestry system than in the monocrop. About water balance, we found that due to the higher canopy cover in the rubber bamboo system, linked of course with the presence of bamboos, we had a higher rain interception. Most of the rain interception was done by the bamboos themselves and very few by the rubber. So as a whole, we had a lower water input into the soil, or at least a slower water input because the rain can be just slowed down into the canopy. And this is consistent with the lower soil water content in the surface. And to explain the result in the deeper horizon, it is known from the literature that bamboo roots improve the infiltration of water into the soil, and also that their system, which is very dense, can enhance the water retention uh, into the soil. So the results that we found are consistent with the known behavior of bamboos from the literature. As a conclusion, there was a little competition for space both above and below ground in the agroforestry system when bamboos were planted in between rows of rubber in already existing rubber plantation. So such an agroforestry system may have an impact, a positive impact, sorry, on the water resource and on the water balance and be more sustainable than the monocrop. Another advantage is that the higher soil cover in the bamboo rubber association may limit erosion, and erosion is a huge problem in adult rubber plantations, and that may also limit the necessity to use herbicides, and we know that herbicides are the main source of chemical pollution in rubber plantations as well. As bamboo offers additional source of income, this makes finally the rubber bamboo agroforestry systems a promising option for rubber farmers. And finally, I would like to thank you all for your attention and to thank the owner of the farm who allowed us to make the study in his plot 2 years ago. Thank you.